Hello, are you there?
Yes, I am here. It looks like you're loading into the Ziggurat Refuge in Last Epoch. The loading screen also mentions that Herald skills are a kind of spirit reservation that grant various bonuses to attack skills. Is there anything specific you'd like to discuss about the game or this loading screen?
Yeah, so this game is Path of Exile. What's your opinion of my gear?
Ah, my mistake. It seems I mixed up the games, and you're indeed playing Path of Exile. It looks like you're currently examining a Ghost Writhe Tattered Robe in your inventory. The robe provides 20% increased armor, evasion, and energy shield, as well as plus 100 to maximum energy shield, 25% to chaos resistance, and has a modifier where 50% of maximum life is converted to energy shield. The item is also corrupted. Would you like me to go over the rest of the gear in your inventory or your stash?
Yes, let's go. Hello? Did you break? Something went wrong. Okay, let's try that again. Hello, I'm playing Path of Exile. What do you think of my gear?
Okay, I see you're playing Path of Exile. Based on the images you've sent, it looks like you're playing a character named Svetlanarancidrage, who is a level 69 Infernalist in the Standard League. The character has some good items equipped. Can you tell me if there's anything you're particularly curious about, like the weapon, specific armor pieces, or something else?
Yes, let's compare the gloves. So here we're comparing gloves with equipped gloves. Which pair of gloves should I use and why?
Okay, let's compare the two pairs of gloves you've shown. The equipped gloves are Vortex Fist, and the other pair in your stash is called Vengeance Nails. Vortex Fist provides a large boost to energy shield, mana, and life, as well as lightning and fire resistance and some physical damage leech. Vengeance Nails provides armor, energy shield, life, some fire and lightning resistance, as well as strength and intelligence. It looks like the main trade off is between flat life and energy shield versus a percentage increase in those stats, while the resistances are comparable. Considering your character, are you focusing more on life or energy shield?
Energy shield and then life. We don't really want to focus on armor too much because it slows us down.
Okay, it sounds like you're prioritizing energy shield and then life, and not focusing much on armor. Given that, the Vortex Fist gloves seem like the better choice for you because they provide a large flat boost to energy shield, life, and mana, as well as increased lightning and fire resistance. The Vengeance Nails gloves provide armor, which you're not focusing on. Do you agree with this assessment?
Yeah, I guess so. I think it's not bad. The problem is it has lower lightning fire resistance, which isn't good, but that's actually a pretty good assessment. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. How can I help?
Okay, I just opened this project. Explain what this project is about.
Sure, this appears to be a project called Graph AI, based on the folder name and the text in the readme.md file. It seems to be an asynchronous data flow execution engine that allows for building magnetic workflows using declarative data flow graphs in YAML or JSON. Would you like to know more about a specific part of it?
Yes, how can I create an agent using Graph AI?
Certainly, it appears the agents are located in the lm underscore agents folder. You could explore the existing agents like anthropic underscore agent, Gemini underscore agent, or slash GPT underscore agent as templates for how to create new agents. Would you like me to take a look at the files inside one of those agents to see how they are structured?
Yes, let's look at the Gemini agent.
Okay, inside the Gemini underscore agent folder, I see there's an index, TS and a Gemini underscore agent, TS file, the index. TS file likely serves as an entry point, while Gemini underscore agent. TS probably contains the main logic for the Gemini agent. Shall I open the Gemini underscore agent TS file for us to see what's inside?
Yes.
All right, I see a TS config. JSON file is open. This file configures how TypeScript code is compiled. It specifies settings like the target JavaScript version, the output directory, and which files to include in the compilation process. Do you want to explore any specific part of this configuration file?
Sweet. Let's look at the file that's open right now. Explain this file to me. What's going on here?
Okay, this is the Gemini underscore agent, TS file, which defines the Gemini agent. It begins with several import statements, bringing in necessary functions and classes. The code defines a Gemini inputs type that represents parameters for the agent. It then defines an asynchronous function called Gemini agent that takes in parameters including a prompt and named inputs. The function extracts model, system, and prompt data. It seems to set up the messages based on user prompt, then calls the language model. Would you like me to go into any more detail about other sections?
Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. How can I help?
Okay, explain to me what you're seeing.
Certainly, I see a music production software interface. It shows a project with multiple tracks, including vocals, electric piano, bass, and other elements, laid out on a timeline. The piano roll for the electric piano track is visible in the lower part of the screen.
Okay, listen to this.
Okay, I'm ready.
What do you think? What's missing?
I've heard the audio you played. It sounds like a good start to a song. As for what's missing, it's difficult to say definitively, as that is subjective. It could benefit from more dynamic range and some additional layers or instruments, but it depends on your vision for the track.
Let's add more depth by adding an instrument. Which instrument should we add and how should I do it?
Okay, to add more depth, you could consider adding a string instrument like a cello or a violin, or even a synth pad for texture. To do this, select the instrument track you want and then add notes to the timeline, similar to how you added the electric piano notes. Which instrument are you thinking of adding?
I'm not sure. What do you think?
I see you have options for MIDI, drummer, mic or line, and guitar or bass. Since you are aiming for depth, a MIDI software instrument might be the most versatile. You could explore different sounds like strings, synths, or pads, which would add texture and harmonic complexity. Does that sound like a good direction for you?
Yeah, that sounds workable.
Great, it sounds like you're ready to add a new MIDI instrument. Do you have a specific sound in mind? Or would you like me to suggest some?
Suggest something, and I currently have classic electric piano selected. How do I add a track?
Okay, since you already have a classic electric piano, I would suggest adding a string pad to provide a background atmosphere and depth. To add a track, click the plus button at the top of the track list, and then choose a software instrument, and then select a string pad. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, have you been able to add the new track?
No, I'm useless.
I understand that you are frustrated. It can be tricky learning new software. Do you want me to walk you through adding a new track step by step?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's add a new track together. First, look at the top left corner of the screen and locate the plus button. It should be right above your track list. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now click that plus button. A menu should appear that will give you a few options on which kind of track you want to create. Do you see that menu?
Okay, let's skip ahead. I managed to add a track. Can you see my screen? Can you see the piano keys?
Yes, I can see your screen and the piano roll with the keys. It looks like you have the classic electric piano track selected.
Yes, that's right. So let's add some music.
Okay, to add notes to the piano roll, you can click on the piano roll grid. The notes will correspond to the pitch of the key on the left and will be placed in the timeline at the point where you click on the grid. Do you want to try adding a few notes?
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready when you are. Let me know if you would like any guidance or suggestions along the way. I see you have added a few notes to the piano roll. It looks like you're starting to experiment with a melody. The song is playing in the background. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Hello. Tell me, what
Hello.
are you seeing?
I see the Unity editor open on a computer screen. There's a main scene view in the center, along with a hierarchy, inspector, and project window. It looks like an empty template for a universal render pipeline project is currently being displayed.
Okay, let's add a simple capsule as a main player that can move around on a simple ground plane. Walk me through the steps.
Sure, let's add a capsule as your main player that can move around on a simple ground plane. I'll walk you through the steps. First, right-click in the hierarchy window. Then, from the 3D object menu, select Capsule. This will create a capsule in your scene. Now, right-click again, but select 3D object, then plane. Now you should have both a capsule and a plane in your scene. Is that what you have now?
Yes, can you see my screen? What does it look like?
Yes, I can see your screen. The screen shows the Unity editor with a capsule and plane added to the scene, just as we discussed. Both the capsule and plane are visible in the scene view, and they are also both in the hierarchy window. Is there anything else you'd like me to help you with?
Yes, I want to move the capsule around using the AWSD keys on the keyboard. How do we do that?
Okay, let's get the capsule moving with the WASD keys. First, in the project window in the bottom left, navigate to Assets, then right-click, and select Create, then C# script. Name it Player Movement. Now double-click the script to open it in Visual Studio or your code editor. Once the editor opens, replace the code with the following, using Unity Engine, public class, player movement, mono behavior, opening curly bracket, public float moves, speed equals 5f, void, update. Opening curly bracket, float horizontal input equals input. Get axis, horizontal. Float vertical input equals input. Get axis, vertical. Vector 3 movement equals new. Vector 3, horizontal input, 0f, vertical input. Transform, translate, movement, move speed time, dot delta time. Closing curly bracket, closing curly bracket. Now go back to the Unity editor and select the capsule in the hierarchy and drag the player movement script from the project window onto it. Does that make sense so far?
Yes, I'm trying to drag the script onto the capsule. Doesn't seem to be working.
Okay, I see you have the player movement script attached to the capsule and selected in the hierarchy, but it isn't moving using the WASD keys. Let's check if the script itself is working. Double-click on the player movement script in the project window. I'll look to see if the code has been modified correctly once you show me.
Okay, hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. How can I help?
I'm working on a Unity project. I need some help moving the capsule around using the WASD keys. I'm just quickly doing an update of Visual Studio.
Okay, I understand that you're working on a Unity project and need help moving a capsule using the WASD keys. It also looks like you're updating Visual Studio. What specific help do you need with the capsule movement?
Once Visual Studio is updated, I would like to move the capsule around with the WASD keys. I already have a player movement script that's attached to the capsule.
So you have a player movement script attached to the capsule, and you want to move it with WASD keys.
Yes.
It looks like you are waiting for the Visual Studio update before you can start testing, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so once the Visual Studio update is complete, you can start testing the capsule movement with WASD. Is there anything else I can assist you with at the moment?
Yes. Can you see Visual Studio? Can you give me the code to move the capsule around?
Yes, I can see the Visual Studio code. To move the capsule around using WASD, you'll need to add some code inside the update function of your player movement script. Would you like me to give you an example of how to do that?
Yes, just output the code.
Okay, here is the code you can add to your update function in the player movement script. D# void update. Opening curly bracket, float horizontal input equals input.
No, wait. Give the code in text. Output the code in text.
Okay, I understand. You want the code in text form. Here it is. C# void update. Opening curly. Okay, is there anything else I can help you with regarding the code or your Unity project?
Hello, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. How can I help you today?
I'm working on Unity. I have a capsule on a plane, as you can see, and I want to move this capsule around using the WASD keys. I have a script attached to it called player movement. Can you see the script?
Yes, I can see the script.
Okay, now
It's
just
called
output movement code.
playermovement.cs.
Yeah,
and it
that's
currently
great.
has a start.
Just
Okay.
output code that I can paste into my editor, please.
Okay, I understand. The player movement. CS script is currently empty, with only the start and update functions defined. What would you like to do next?
I want to move the character around using WASD on the keyboard.
Okay, so you want to use the keyboard to move the capsule. That means we'll need to add some code to the update function of your playermovement.cs script. Would you like me to provide some sample code for that?
Yes.
Okay, here's some code you can add to the update function in your playermovement.cs script to move the capsule using the arrow keys. C# void update. Opening curly bracket. Float horizontal input equals input. Get access